Okay, let's pray. Dear Father in heaven, we thank you for bringing us together and giving us this opportunity that we can solve problems together. We work together as a team. We can understand your plans and purposes. We pray that you will help each person to be present and here I really pray that you will help us to contribute and to each use our unique talents to help move this mission forward, and we just pray for your divine wisdom to understand this the impact and importance of this conversation and what we get to do here. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. So,
are we recording?
Yeah.
So should this be closed?
It can be closed, but the recording doesn't really wouldn't be the determining factor. So, what I'm looking at is, how do I say, yeah, so we have this work-a-thon. The purpose of our work-a-thon, I want to look at like what our purpose is and like where we can take notes and how we can move forward. We understand that in our contract we said we'd have Myron Repitch for 100 people. Otherwise, that's the conditional $100,000 grant. So if we don't have Myron Repitch for 100 people, then we don't have that $100,000 grant. And the reason why he was willing to give us $100,000 grant, because he's confident if he could repitch to 100 people, then both of us could make way more than $100,000 to be well worth the steep discount that he gave, or the grants for the inner circle, because the inner circle is not $55,000, it's $155,000. So that's what the grant is. So we could pay for the $155 or pay for $55, and then he is a principal. He teaches us to get people to the challenge, and there's multiple people who have been able to do that. So by applying the principles he teaches in the inner circle. So that's why we're here. And Kathy is basically leading out with she's a directly responsible individual for this because she has a good amount of experience in promoting events. She's done multiple events that have about 100 people, and she's gotten people in rooms, and that's her expertise. Part of the challenge with that is that in Kathy's mind, she knows what that looks like with like Juice Plus Isogenics, with physical events, and before the internet. And what I've shared with her is like all of those methods are still 100% applicable to what we're doing. And I told her one thing that we could do together is she can share some of her stories or experiences of what the method she's used to get butts in seats, whether they're digital or physical. Like we want digital, but the ultimate outcome, really, like one of the highest paying skills in the marketplace is getting butts in seats. And so that is, like, professional network marketers, that is what they do. They're event promoters. That's exactly what they do. So that's her expertise. So basically asking what are the offline methods she's used to getting butts in seats, and then with our minds, the three of us, Mom, Katharina, who we are able to help her to translate or remix those offline strategies to online modalities or methods. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you, Conrad?
Say that again.
Can you repeat back what you think you heard?
So a bit about offline, online modalities. She's familiar with Isogenics and Juice Plus and can bring people to events, promoting events, right? So, okay.
So one of the things we want to see, what are the strategies she knows to bring people to events, and let's take her offline strategies and use our minds to see what is the online equivalent to the method that she knows works. Yeah, that's one of the objectives here. Another objective I'd like to see is how we can break this down into basically like kind of like monthly missions, but like how could we chunk what this will look like? Like I guess find a pipeline of what are the major phases that we can expect that we will be in order to get 100 people at a challenge. What would that look like? And I was wondering, where do you guys think would be a good place to take these notes at?
On the Work-a-thon. On the session calendar. Using a Work-a-thon thingamabob.
Because we could have
That took a lot longer than I thought. I'm sorry.
phone calls usually do. We could, welcome on. We're talking about the objectives right now. We could have a page on the Work-a-thon, or we could put it in the Stepping Stones. Or we could have a page on the Work-a-thon and
Okay, link it to the stepping stone.
actionable steps that's synced to the Stepping Stones. We have in the past created a Work-a-thon, or I mean a challenge page, creating a page on the session calendar for the challenge where we've looked at these things. Does anyone have any other suggestions? No, we'll just go with Shanicia's.
What was the question?
The question is, where would be a good place for us to take notes of
Oh,
what we cover?
okay.
So take notes on the session calendar and put actionables on the stepping stones.
You like that? Alright. Sounds good. So then what's the thing? I saw you were creating something. What's the name of it, Shanicia?
Challenge Repitch Work-a-thon.
Does it have the date so we can find it quick?
Yep, it does.
Alright, so if you go to Notion, you just type in the date like we usually do. You'll see the Challenge Repitch Work-a-thon. So 1.4.23. I found it. Cool. Thank you.
Once more, if we go to where first? Notion.
Yeah, just Notion and type in the date.
The date. Okay, thank you.
Shanicia, is it possible for you to use the desktop while live streaming? And because we're in the room, one of the values of being in the room is so we could share that screen and reference it so we can find it quickly.
I don't want to write on here, but I can share the screen if Carmen wants to type.
Carmen, would you be willing to take notes? I think it would help him to focus too. You said that that's helped him in the past. Are the people accurate? Why do you have Katharina on here?
You mentioned everybody's name, so I was just putting the names you mentioned.
Oh, okay. It's only if she's here. Thank you.
Did somebody reach out and remind you or not?
I did.
Okay, thank you.
Look at that. Yeah.
Okay.
The second objective was to break down what it takes to.
Yeah. What it takes to get 100 people in a room, either in phases or pipes in the pipeline, within the next 3 months.
Are we going to create a pipeline for it too?
I think it'd be good. It doesn't mean that we'd get it done right now, but I think that would,
Eventually?
yeah. I guess I don't need to take that right now. So, you just type in the date.
Oh,
1/4/23.
thank you.
Uh-huh. So then, I think this should be a toggle.
And that's under Repitch Work-a-thon?
Challenge, repitch, work-a-thon. Yeah, great.
That's too
Okay.
You got it.
Did you just?
And I would say too that this type of workathon is also the kind of thing that we would do, or this monthly mission is where we would build the funnel. Where we would build the funnel and
What are we gonna sell while he's repitching? What's he gonna repitch?
a business coaching
Oh, okay.
Should we have?
$1,000 offer. What was that, Shanicia?
Should we have the offer creation database up too? Is that where we do this kind of thing?
I think in future workathons that will be relevant, but I think right now that might be more detailed than necessary. So if we look at this as if we look at the intentional planning process, those 7 steps, we could probably get the first 4 done today. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah.
That's a good place to start. Kathy, do you know what that means?
Not yet. I was just writing down. The first 4, I heard
In the
that.
intentional planning process.
In the intentional planning process. Where's the
So
intentional planning process?
These actually-
Actualize?
Yeah. Mom, do you know what the intentional planning process is? You don't need all 7 steps, but we go through the first 3 a lot, again and again and again.
I'm not sure.
Okay. It's
So there's 7 in all,
yeah.
and
Oh.
we hope to get through 4 of them today.
Does it where we decide where people who's in charge and what our our goals are, like our stepping stones?
Kind of.
Is that the who does what by when?
No. That's under organized. What you guys described as under organized.
Okay, I'm not sure what it is.
So the first step is to visualize. Oh, I spelled that wrong.
You want to try?
Visualize. Prioritize. This is literally the foundation of everything we do. Prioritize. This is the foundation of how we work at the Army of Youth, and everything we do goes through this. Prioritize. And it's also the last portion of the book. It's the 4th section of the book. The last 7 chapters are dedicated to this framework. And then organize, which this phase is what Kathy's the most equipped with. Actualize. Does this seem familiar to anybody?
Yes.
To you, Kathy?
Those words are definitely familiar. Visualize, prioritize, organize, actualize.
Like as in a
I have
framework?
heard them before, yes.
In the intentional planning process, we call this the IPP.
Oh, I've seen those initials before.
Let's talk about these 7
IPP,
things.
Visual planning, IPP. I remember that from way back.
So, does anyone remember what the 5th one is? What do we do after we actually carry it out?
Then we analyze.
Analyze. Does anyone remember the next? Revise.
And start all over again.
Yeah. Go at it again. Rinse and repeat results. So, what we're gonna do is I said 4, but Carmen brought to my attention it's probably more like 3, but these are different sessions. Like the first workathon that we ever do something like this is usually the first 3, and then, or like, not really work-a-thon, but when we're getting together and we're playing or we're seeing what we can do, it's usually that. And then this would be a work-a-thon. It's where we actually carry out these things. And then our other times where we get together and we try to problem solve, then we'll be doing this. We're farming for problems of what we've done. Once we've carried it out, we're looking for feedback and what we can do differently, and then go at it again. We just rinse and repeat. So what we want to do here, visualize is when we make a sloppy list of what we could do. What could we do? What are the steps that we're aware of that need to be done in order to, like, we visualize this is a sloppy list, and it's also like stepping stones. Visualize, which is kind of like what Mom was saying, essentially. See, Shani, see how it looks?
Yeah.
Sometimes they write good for one streak, but not for a sentence. So this includes like the sloppy list, and like stepping stones. This is what we could do, or what we understand that there are. And prioritize is where we stack rank. This is where we figure out what we will do. This is what we will do. This is where we stack rank by priority. Is this kind of clear or making sense of how we do the Army of Youth stuff?
So far, so good.
Organize is the crystal clear checklist. Kathy, do you know what the crystal clear checklist is?
No. I've heard the word crystal clear.
Mom, do you know what the crystal clear checklist is?
No.
Really? You've been focused on it a lot this week.
Oh, what is it?
The crystal clear checklist.
I love the crystal clear checklist.
You
That's
love
right.
it?
The crystal clear checklist. To be clear on what we're doing? Like to choose it? Oh, it's the, is that what you call it? Crystal clear checklist?
Yep, that's what we
That's the
call
thing
it.
you said earlier. Who will do what by when?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How much of what by when?
And that's why you're organizing, you find out.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is what you do best with, Kathy. You ask like who does it involve? Like, what is the outcome that we're trying to accomplish? Who does it involve? And when can we do it? Like, those are the 20% of the questions that helps to bring 80% of the results. This is the part that we're the weakest at with our team, but we're seeking to really cultivate and get stronger and stronger at. Get stronger at these things.
What does that last one say? Number 7?
Huh? Where?
Repeat, remobilize.
Oh,
Number 7.
analyze, revise, remobilize. Yeah, remobilize. There you go.
Thank you.
And this is basically why. So we can why. It's not written exactly like this, but this is a crystal clear checklist right here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this is basically the process of how we set goals and accomplish things. This is how we get the monthly missions done. And those are some of the components. So,
Alright. So now we make a sloppy list?
yeah, let's make a sloppy list of, and from the sloppy list can come our pipeline also, so we'll be doing that simultaneously.
So should we ask what Sister Kathy does with the physical ones? Like what are the things that she does, and then we create our sloppy list like that? Like with the online equivalents?
I think we may want to go more higher level than that.
Okay.
of like just what are the things that we know that we generally have to do, and so we can schedule them. Think of this conversation will be successful if we identify what are the major phases or like the high leverage problems to solve in a work-a-thon, and then we basically have a list that we can start scheduling for those work-a-thons of when we can do it.
And a list of things we can schedule for the work-a-thons?
I didn't say things. A list of high leverage problems we can solve and schedule. Schedule for when we solve. List of high leverage problems.
So like creating a funnel, we need a funnel.
Yeah, like that would be a high leverage problem for us to solve.
We can schedule to solve.
And we'll schedule it for a work-a-thon. We could use Kathy's help. Having that conversation where she talks about her butts and seats strategies offline, and we could remix to online. That would be a high leverage problem to solve that we could put in there. And we could have a work-a-thon for. So things like that. So where's our list? Where's our list? Shanice, can you close your laptop, please? Is there any reason why you need that? You're not typing anything. And the only reason you like it is because of the keyboard, right?
Yes.
Okay, can you close it? Thank you. That way you're not tempted to...
Work on something else?
Not necessarily, just where she's able to help a lot when she's following along with the screen. So with the screen share.
Okay.
Alright, so we got a sloppy list as you see at the bottom. It looks like that's where we're going to be visualizing. So what are the things that would need to be done in order to get 100 people into the
This
event?
is not how, right? This is just like steps you're asking.
Mm-hmm.
We just gave 2 things.
Do you offer in a book funnel?
I don't understand your question, Mom.
Or you're asking steps to do it, or you're asking how we can do it? Or are you asking?
Yeah, basically, what are the steps for us to... It seems like steps and how are synonymous terms in my mind. They sound the same thing.
So you want ideas of how to do it?
Like an example is we have to create the funnel. And also, the way that we create, like, everything that we're writing here, these are stepping stones, essentially. So you want to know how to get better at creating stepping stones, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the way that you create stepping stones is you ask questions. So while we're doing this, what you can do is pay attention not just to what people are saying, but what are the questions that are being asked that create the answer. The stepping stone's the answer, that's what you want. But you can't learn how to get stepping stones by looking at the answers. You have to ask what are the visualizing questions that create those answers. And if you learn the questions, then you'll come up with stepping stones for monthly missions, for Tiller, for the challenge, for solving problems. Which you have several of the questions. Part of it also is not so much learning brand new questions as much as is just learning to associate the questions you already asked to come up with steps, to reverse engineer, work backwards.
Did you lay that down?
Because I couldn't see your smiling face.
A second thing was having a conversation with Sister Kathy about her strategy.
Yes. Let's say schedule a conversation with Kathy about her remixing her offline strategies.
That's gonna be cool. Also, putting their offer in the book funnel.
Putting our
Challenge.
selling the challenge, tickets in the book funnel.
Yes.
Enoch?
Great.
I know we're only doing the first 3, but what is actualize?
That's when we actually carry it out. That's when we do a
okay.
work-a-thon building the funnel.
Oh, okay. So you do want ideas here of what we could do. Oh, good. I got some ideas.
What part of this would we do like the problem farming session? Is that a separate step?
When you say problem farming session, for what?
Like creating the challenge, what we're gonna offer, what problems we're solving with
Oh,
it.
like crafting an irresistible offer
Yes.
for the challenge?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll just say that. And that, when we do that is going to be under the organized phase. If we do it, we'll be under prioritize. So not everything we put here we will do, but that's the objective, is to see what are the things that we are able to. We can organize when we'll do it, and the details a little bit later. Does that make sense, Kathy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What else do we see would need to take place?
We need a Facebook group. That's like a micro thing, but we need a Facebook group. Put a challenge. Oh, I think we do that.
Well, we'd have to create a new one because it's a paid challenge.
It's the one that says make money as a mentor. It was never used.
Oh, it was never used. I really need to reach out to Myron on Voxer so we can get some feedback. And I could really use some help, and I've been asking for help with that for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I would like reminders of why to do it. I really think that's one of those highest leverage things to do, because based on what he says there, it would dramatically shift the whole theme of the challenge. We could do a whole bunch of work, but like we would be doing a bunch of work climbing up a ladder, only find us sitting on the wrong wall, like what we did with the evangelistic business challenge. But with some feedback, we get pointed in the right direction, and it could work a lot better. So who would be interested in helping me to remember reasons to reach out to Myron on Voxer?
I could.
Mm-hmm.
Who else would be interested? We could put Shanicia there.
Katharina.
Okay.
Deborah.
Thank you.
Why do you want to reach out to him?
Did you not hear what I just said? What does it say on there?
I don't see it.
Would be good. You could look on Shanicia's screen. Can you read that?
Oh, yeah. Let me see. Let me get that up. Okay.
What do you think about Kathy?
I want her to say first, but then I have my idea of why. Well, and I know you don't want to be reminded when to call. You want to be reminded why to call.
I'm glad you know that.
Yeah, I understand that. Did you have the answer that he asked you for?
Yeah, I'm not sure why.
Okay. He wants to make sure we don't go up the ladder and it's on the wrong wall. He
Oh,
wants to make sure that the details first, so we know which wall to lead it on.
Yeah, the subject, the outcome, the payoff, the audience.
All those things, so we don't waste a lot of time, is what you said, and energy, and going up the wrong way.
I heard you when you were saying that.
Like doing an evangelistic business challenge. That was
Yeah,
doomed to
exactly.
fail. That would never really succeed. So, and then Reason to Live challenge. That challenge too had a lot of fundamental flaws because we're attracting aimless people.
That was
with
one
that
of the
challenge.
first things we learned.
Yeah, so stuff like that is the feedback. Why we're paying Myron for coaching, and it's good for me to reach out. He's willing to answer my questions on Voxer. I just need to send him to him. I sent him like 12 minutes of audio and 4 messages, and he said that the audio didn't go through.
I reach out to him and he doesn't respond.
Okay, Mom. What do you want me to do with that information?
Uh-uh.
And I won't do anything with it.
Well, anyway, so you went to my ideas of what we might be able to do to get people in seats. Don't know.
We need invitations.
How frequently would you guys help remind me?
What works for you?
Every hour until I do it?
Every hour. I can remind you every day.
You could put a reoccurring alarm that'll remind you too.
He doesn't need an alarm. The alarm doesn't tell him why he's doing it.
He knows why.
No, Mom, that's why I need help
Why
remembering.
he's asking for help. Not when, but why.
Well, when the alarm goes off, come to one of us and we'll tell you why you need help there.
I'm not gonna do that.
If Shanice is willing to do it once a day, Katharina, how often are you willing to remind him of his why?
That's a better question. I think we should take Mom off the list.
Please, 2 times.
2 times a day?
Let's do that. Yeah.
2 times a day. Shanice is willing to do it 1 time a day.
Sounds good. Mom, I don't need your help.
You don't need it or you don't want it.
I don't need that type of help you're willing to give me is not what I need. We're one. Because last time I asked you to help me to remember why to do something, you just kept saying, call pastor, call pastor, call pastor, remember to call pastor, and you remind me like 8 times to call pastor, and I never asked you to remind me to call him. I'm asking to remind me why to call him. Do you understand the difference? And if you think that I could just set an alarm, then you clearly don't understand what I'm asking.
That's like me needing to go to the doctors, and I'm asking you to help me remember to call the doctors. Well, I know why you need to go to the doctors.
Yeah, and if you believe that, you're incapable of helping me as long as you have that belief.
I think you're incapable of doing it as long as you have that belief.
I am capable of doing it, and it is a lot more helpful when someone's able to help me to remember why to do it.
It's just like people don't need to be told what they need to do. It's like he knows what he needs to do, but he's focusing on how hard it is instead of focusing on so he's not motivated enough. So if we stack more stories and remind him of why he wants to, then he'll actually go and do it. Like, there's some things that we don't do because we're not motivated enough, or there's limiting beliefs that is holding us back from accomplishing it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm asking for help with. It's like for you, getting understanding and appreciating people's worlds, and like you speaking their language using their terminology. It's like it's probably a bad example, because if you're reminded, it's probably like when you were it's like when you were learning about asking questions instead of saying statements. At first, like if I remind you to ask questions, you had more reasons to not ask questions than you did to tell statements. So like I could point it to your attention that you're telling statements, but that doesn't mean you're going to change or you're going to do it. You just you hear what's being said, but you just like disagree with asking questions. So we had a lot of conversations about that first, where I had to address you not to tell what to do. I had to remind you of why to do it. And I had that conversation with you like 5 times before you started to ask questions instead of say statements. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. So what else? Kathy, based on your understanding of events, what do you see are necessary to have successful events?
Reaching out for the people, but I suppose that's what creating a funnel is reaching out to people.
No, it's not reaching out. Think of creating a funnel like the funnel is a flyer.
And it's a flyer. Well,
Yeah,
that's
it's a
what
flyer.
you reach out to people with, is the flyer.
Yeah, it's only the flyer. It's nothing else.
Yeah,
But the flyer doesn't bring people. People
No.
brings people.
exactly.
So that's what we need to. Like invitations bring people.
Yeah, invitations.
Carmen, I can't see your mouse, but are you creating a remix lexicon thing? Oh, I see.
Remix lexicon. Oh, I can do that.
That would be
Okay,
really
I'll put
cool.
down. I'll see it on the list.
What's a remix lexicon?
Yeah. Good question, Katharina.
Do you know what a lexicon is?
I know what a leprechaun is.
All right, let's start with that. What's a leprechaun?
It's a little person. I don't know.
Okay.
Other than that,
And they're green, I think.
Yeah. So think of a little green person who's holding a book, and the book says lexicon on it. And when you open the book, it's lexicon for event promotion. So every word, it's like a dictionary for one subject. So the only words that are in that dictionary, that lexicon, is all event promotion terminology and phrases and concepts.
okay,
it's
so
defined.
this will help Sister Kathy understand,
Yeah,
and us too.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's the concept where all learning is association. Kathy has some of the most life experience out of all of us in promoting challenges and doing virtual challenges, but all her experience is found in offline, the offline equivalent. So she has offline terminology to do this online challenge, and her success in it's like all success is just taking a new area that's under-resourced, has limited resources, and borrowing from a familiar area that's heavily resourced in our life, and associating those resources to this new place, and that's how we bring success in anything we want to accomplish. So Kathy has a lot of resources in offline event promotion, but it's all wrapped up in the terms and the phrases that she knows, which a lexicon would define offline event promotion phrases, like butts and seats, or like invitations, or like context, or just different terminology. And so we would have to remix that to online event promotion. And when she makes a connection, then it just clicks. So what Carmen and I do when we are studying frameworks or looking for patterns, we make kind of like a lexicon. We make a list of these watchwords. We realize what are all the words that mean the same thing. Like two different trainers are talking about stuff, but they're really saying the same meaning. They're just using different words, and so we just like list those together, and it helps us to learn. All of our brains work that way. It's not just ours.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So again, like what else? So if you were gonna do an offline event to have 100 people show up, what would you do?
We go like door to door, contacting, knocking on everybody. You invite everybody. And then those who say they're coming, you remind. The
So
importance of reminding them that they are coming and their reasons for coming. I know that's so important. But it's
So-
the invitations, just knocking on everybody's door.
So would that be like sending email reminders as well?
yeah.
Any way you have to contact them.
It could be
Emails,
sending email reminders.
reminders, messenger reminders, text message reminders, any way you have to contact them. And then for those who are phone callers, at the very end, you call them.
So a lot of times you would call them. I remember you told me you would send an email, and then you would call them up and say, "Hey, I sent you an email. I'd really like you to take a look." And you guys loved when you got their voice message. So you didn't have to have like a 5-minute, 50-minute conversation.
Exactly.
So you could go down your
That's
contact
funny.
list.
And so much easier now with Messenger and text messaging. Send them the email. In fact, I did that. I sent an email on the 1st of January, and then I went back and I saw that they hadn't seen it, and it was an email. But I'd send them a card. It was my brother-in-law's birthday. So then I go back and on Messenger and say, hey, I sent you a card for your birthday. Saw that you didn't pick it up. Are you still using this email? And he goes, today he wrote to me and says, no, I don't use that one anymore. This is my new email. So then I went back, sent it immediately, the card to the new email, then go back on Messenger and say, just resent it, you know. And so it's so much easier now. I don't have to get phone answering machines.
Yeah, that is really nice.
Yeah. So it still works, the same principle. Send it, however you can send it, and then do your follow-up. Make sure they see it. And then when it gets closer to the date, you know, now you want them to put it on the calendar. First step. Second, you want them to...
Do we want to put that down as a step to put on the calendar? What do you want to put on the calendar?
The event. What's happening when.
So we got to pick the date.
Yes, the date.
Put the event date on the calendar. Yeah, there you go. That works too.
Yeah. Once you get the date, then you make sure people put it and save that time.
So can we indent it and say have people save the date in their calendar?
Is there a way for us to know, like, when people are saving it? I wish there was. I like how, you know how Facebook does? When they respond and they say they're either going to attend or not. And then you see the people that said that they're going to show up on that date.
Yeah, there's ways to do it.
That would be cool.
So yeah, setting the date is so important. And is that something though that we have to coordinate with Myron? Or do we set the date and then let him know when we want him to do the repitch? Which comes first?
I could talk to Jeff. So I could call Jeff and ask.
Because if we set it for a certain week and Jeff says he's gone that whole week, that won't work.
Mm-hmm.
We need to know that early.
Okay. And we're looking at, it would probably be good if we have, like whenever we're setting times, we have options, like 2 options that you can choose from.
Definitely.
What works good for him.
I figured we have one toward the end of March
Okay.
and another, our backup is the 1st of April.
The end of March and the 1st of April.
Are the times we're looking at. So if the 1st of April doesn't work, we definitely do it, you know, and the end of March does, go for it. Either way, it's got to be
Doesn't
in
work
that.
for his schedule though, is what
That's
you're saying.
right, yeah, because
Okay.
we're gonna, it's gonna work for us.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. I wasn't sure if you meant it doesn't work that the people don't show up. 'Cause
Oh,
we
no,
talked
no.
about it. Last time you said backup, you were talking about us doing it in March or April, and then if that event didn't work out or we didn't get the people, then we would have another month that we can like test it or
We're
something.
gonna make it work. It's gonna
Okay.
work.
All right. So this is good. Do you guys see how a lot of like what she would do to promote events is applicable to what we need to do to promote events?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
And the highest number that we got at an event, we were shooting for 100. We got 97.
That's good.
We did. We got 97 out of 100.
That's plus.
But we paid somebody to go door to door to door to door
Mhm.
and post it. Those doors posted it for us. Then people responded, and then we followed up on the responses.
Is inviting people the same thing as promoting? Because then we could.
The invitation's the first step, but promoting it is sending them, you know, more reasons why. Because
Okay.
usually with the first invitation, you're not going to get everybody saying, yeah, I'm going, put me down. But when you send them more reminders That's to encourage them, giving them the reasons why they want to.
And it's 8 exposures with the reasons where they actually make the decision.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because why I was asking is because you mentioned like pay someone, and I was thinking of like Sister Deborah and Enoch. They're going to events and things, and they're meeting up with their friends. They can tell them that we're having a challenge coming up and give them like affiliate commissions or something.
That'd be cool.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
And that was another thing with network marketing, which was nice, is that you had highly motivated and compensated affiliates, partners to
Yes.
promote the events.
Exactly.
And we could do the same thing with
Exactly.
affiliates.
Yeah, no 1 or 2 people will get 100 people in it.
And you would train the Isogenics associates. They were called associates. We call them affiliates. You would train the associates how to invite people.
Right. Yeah. Because if the job's done wrong, you get a no. They're asking for a no. You do it the right, you teach them how to do it right, and they're asking for yeses.
Could we call them ISA associates? Thank you. It's usually one word. The A is capital, just like you have it. Perfect. Yeah.
So invite graphics.
Huh?
Invite graphics. We need to create those.
Oh yeah, invite graphics. We do. We could put to create invite graphics. Another thing too is like the invitation you were saying is the first thing. You told me when I first joined is that you want to prioritize networkers.
Exactly.
So it seemed like you were saying that it wasn't, what you told me wasn't necessarily blanket to anyone and everyone. You told me to create like a who do you know list of who would be the most likely, most inclined to say yes. And from that, you were sharing, you encouraged me to look at who would be the most successful, who are the networkers who already have that mind of networker. And when you were saying networker, you meant to me like network marketing skills, right? Like they were in other companies, or they were frustrated with their current company and they would be able to transfer, right?
Right.
So the equivalent of the networker is people who have audiences. Because the networker is the one who has a network. That network equals an audience. So as we're inviting networkers, it would be like us inviting influencers.
That's right.
And we give them something that they can invite their team. So you went to doctor's offices and you went to
Health food stores.
And so you weren't really going to the McDonald's
No.
inviting everyone.
No.
You were actually targeting your target market of who are you wanting to invite and where are they congregating.
Amen.
That's why you went to like health doctors' offices or natural dentist office or chiropractors and health food stores, because those are the health conscious
Right.
people.
Right.
And that's where you were really like, where are they congregating? And you went fishing in those ponds that they're already gathered.
That's right.
So what that would look like for us is looking at where are they congregating online. People congregate on 2 things, either personality and subjects. So they have Facebook groups, they have like hashtags that would be like a health food store. Like you might have a health food hashtag, which there's thousands of people that are looking at that, so they're already congregating, their attention is there. So you would put an invitation, like a hook, in this pond of that health food hashtag. So that's where you'd find healthy conscious people to show up to your event. And then the personality would be like the chiropractor, or like those doctors who are like strategic partners who Shanice seeks to talk to, that would be willing to allow us to speak on their platform.
That's right. Yeah. You don't go to the bars. You don't go to the pastry shops and the ice cream places to find people that are in your niche.
Yeah. So basically, who are influencers, or you understood as networkers, who have authors, coaches, speakers in their audience,
Yes.
who's congregating that. And let's go. So like our invitation, we don't have to go, or we could, or I'd say in addition to going one-on-one, inviting the authors, coaches, speakers, we can also do a presentation on, like I'm thinking of Shannon is Innate Labs on Instagram. She'll do Instagram lives with Let Me Speak about the book, and then sell that book. The book is kind of like the flyer. When our funnel works well, that'll be another form of the flyer. So we're selling that thing that instantly sends them to join the challenge about how to make money as a mentor. And as we talked to them about mentorship, then they can get invited that way. And so it's like that one to many, like a conversation we would have at their door, we could have on a platform with 100 people or with 1,000 people.
Amen. So much easier this day and age.
Yeah. So the cool thing is, like with their platform, if they're an affiliate, they could make a presentation to their network with their link, or they could have me do the presentation to their network with their link. And either way, they would get paid, which is like the three-way call.
That's right.
So we could put on there, the lexicon is that the three-way call is like a platform interview, which I would be like the upline. You could even say the next one is like upline, and then it'd be like Enoch's like signature speech. That's basically what we had Dave MacArthur speaking, and he would share at the event. He would be the speaker.
Right.
And so for this challenge, like speaking of signature speech, like do you already have something that you would be talking about, like from your menu of messages, or would you have to create a speech for that?
I mean, not so much. Those many of the messages are more of a dream than an actual presentation. There are signature speeches, but we would need to go through an implementation workshop for the challenge. Probably want to reverse indent that. Here we go.
You said do a presentation on what?
What was I talking about? Oh,
Go on someone else's
Going
platform.
on Shannon's Instagram live. She wants me to share the book.
Let's go. See, to me, that doing an Instagram live is like knocking on doors.
Yes, exactly. I agree.
But it's the doors that you know are most prominent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just not any and every door.
It's like it may even be like knocking on stores instead of going door to door. It's going store to store,
Yeah.
because those stores have teams. Sometimes dentists will have their whole team to listen to it, or they might share with their patients if they're physical therapists. We had a guy from Juice Plus who's interested in having his team look at stuff.
That's right.
Yeah, going door to door, store to store, screen to screen, that one to many is very effective. I agree. So that there's another thing that Carter said. Remember what Carter does to promote his challenge?
I'm not sure who Carter is.
Carter's a dude who said is nice. He got the $1 Million Day Shield Award. He's the black guy. Myron's Inner Circle.
No, not the black guy.
Yeah, he's the
black guy.
Yeah, he was the black guy.
Oh, I'm surprised.
Such a strong word.
No, I know who you're talking about.
Oh, you do?
Did we see him in the airport or something with the long hair?
Oh, that's Arthur. Arthur
Oh, that's
Black.
Arthur.
He didn't get a shield.
Oh, no, he didn't.
No.
That's right.
I think he was wearing red. Real bright red. He said he's super friendly. He went to Pitch Perfect Profits in Dominican Republic, and he said that helped him a lot, and that was responsible for helping him get $1 Million Day.
Yeah, the one that you wanted to take a photo with, or was waiting to take a photo with or something?
Nah, I wasn't wanting to take a photo. I keep my distance from Carter. But Mom thinks he's a nice guy. I think he's cold.
I
Cold.
think it's the
Yeah.
same guy.
The guy that we saw
Those are
at
pretty cute
the
photos.
airport,
Oh,
or no,
maybe.
the mall. Was it the mall?
Did we see him? We might have saw him.
Yeah, he walked right past us, and we said, "There he is."
I thought that was Arthur. Maybe we saw them both. I think we might have saw them both at the mall. Yeah, I think we saw them both at the mall. Arthur and Carter. You're probably thinking of Carter, but Arthur was more prominent than me. I think you're right. So, he said something that was interesting is at the speaker training, he goes live every week or something. He goes live every day for like a week or two just before. It's like what you were saying with the phone calls, doing the phone calls and reminding people. He goes live on Instagram reminding people that it's coming up. But what he does is he goes live to Instagram to promote. It's like promoting a paid.
Talking about Carter?
Yeah, Carter. Carter goes live on Instagram reminding people, inviting people to a webinar. I think it's a cheap webinar. They pay for the webinar. And then the webinar sells the challenge tickets. And then that challenge, of course, sells his premium value thing. So that's how he does it. Instagram. And like the dramatic demonstrations would be like the Instagram live videos. Do you remember the dramatic demonstrations that Russell talked about? Does anyone remember the dramatic? The reason why I was asking you guys to watch Russell's video recently, he talked about some of these things of how to do the challenges and get people there. Okay.
I thought one of the things he was saying is not to use the funnel that pays for itself.
Self-liquidating offer?
Yeah,
What about it?
I thought he said not to use that.
I don't think did he say not to use a self-liquidating offer? No, I think he said that like his
He said that.
his course was a self-liquidating offer.
Okay. He specifically said not to use that. He goes, "I'm not talking about that. Don't use it." That's exactly what he said on this, because I watched it the other day.
But Russell uses self-liquidating offers.
He does, but that was before he learned the what is it?
Mifki. The most incredible free gift ever.
Yeah.
He was saying.
Connor just shared with me what he was saying today. He was giving me, he was describing to me how it works.
The Mifki?
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
I know he doesn't discourage people using a self-liquidating offer though. I think you misunderstood him. He was probably just saying like that. He wasn't referring to that as a self-liquidating offer. But he doesn't say don't use it. And this is a system that got Carter a $1 Million Day.
What does Carter sell?
I don't know.
And Carter's with Bill then.
Mm-hmm. He's at the
Okay.
Inner Circle.
Okay.
We'll see him in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would it
That was the first time he ever got it too.
I want to ask a question.
I can see.
Would it help to have the date set before the next inner circle? Because do you know if you're going
I
to
don't think
another
I've
inner
heard.
circle before March or April? The end of March, the 1st of April? Is this the last one for a little while?
It would help to have a flyer before going to the inner circle.
Okay.
It would help to have a funnel explaining what it's about.
Funnel, yes, before. So, on the funnel, do you have the date?
Mhm.
Okay, so then we
But-
would need to have the date established before the next. The 15th is when you guys are leaving. 16th, 17th, 18th. We would need.
Is it wise to plan a challenge that far in advance, or would it be good to plan 2 challenges between now and that date, and just have that date be the one that has the most people coming to it? It seems like
If we do a challenge, we could make the one that Myron comes to a special one that they come back to.
yeah, because what we're really talking about is not so much one event. We're talking about monthly challenge, but one of those months we want to have 100 people in the event so
Yeah.
Myron can repitch. And after Myron repitches, we'd still do that challenge the next month. Does that make sense, Kathy?
It does make sense.
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, if you're building for 2 challenges, the one that Myron's going to do and the one before he's going to do, what would be the possibility of them attending the first one and not coming back to the second one?
Mom was talking about if you create somehow that those who do attend the first one will attend the second. It's almost like a
For the same price? For the
Because-
half the price? For, is that what you're saying?
That's
Some of
that they
them
could do like free, like Myron lets us in for free, but like have them come back. It's like at the end of Myron's challenges. What does he do
he has
at
a
the end?
repitch.
He has a repitch, and those people go the next day. They attend something.
Right. He calls it a what does he call that?
Family reunion.
A family reunion.
That's his repitch.
Yeah, and so he brings the people back, and he opens up the challenge for us. We get to go to the challenge for free each time, where he pays everybody pays to go to it all the time. But because we're in his inner circle, we could go for free. But we could just tell people they could come for free. What's the chances of them showing up? How often do we show up to his challenge that we've seen already?
Not all the time. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
but what's the
I don't know the percentage.
every week that he does it, we show up for it.
Every week we show up.
Every week that he has a challenge, we show up for it.
Are you talking about the boot camp that he does every week?
The challenge that he does.
He does
Once
the
a month.
challenge.
He does it once a month, and every week that he does it for a whole week. Every week that he has a challenge, we show up for it. Each week that he has a
Yeah,
challenge.
she's saying each challenge week we
Yeah.
show up.
Oh, I see.
She's not saying every week of every month
Yeah,
he
I'm not
has a
saying.
challenge.
Yeah,
She's just saying every challenge.
he has it for a whole week, and we show up for a whole week of his challenges every time. Every time that we have an opportunity, which I think we've showed up for all of them. I think it's good.
So with that, like before today, I imagine probably not gonna have a challenge this month, but I imagine we'd have a challenge next month, and the one that we're inviting Myron to, because what we're talking about is monthly challenges, and the way that they get people to the event, they have monthly challenges for their like they have them every month, and they promote them every month.
You know what we could do? Maybe?
Hold on, Mom. Let me finish
Oh,
the
okay.
sentence. So like, I guess, like, one of the ultimate longer term objectives we want to do is we want to create a monthly promotion rhythm so that we're able to have a monthly, like a way to monthly promote the challenge so that we're able to have consistent leads attending the challenge each month. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, yeah. It does, it makes sense. And I know Myron's audience, they pay each month that comes, or they have paid, and so they have a ticket to come. Nobody comes for free.
Yeah, the people who are coming are everyone who's there paid. They're paying
Okay.
$97 to $300 to $500 to attend. Everyone who asks a question on Myron's challenge,
Yes, is the
they
VIP.
pay $500. It's not VIP, it's platinum.
Platinum, okay.
They paid $500 to ask those questions.
Okay,
So he's loaded with $500 event tickets. And that does not include all the people that you don't see who got general admission and they're just viewing from Facebook.
He doesn't even answer all the questions either.
Right. Well, I think he answers them since he did platinum. Sometimes he answers them twice. So, and he does it
Okay.
every month, and those are new people that are coming.
okay. So we had a challenge in February. Not this month, January, but the next month, February.
Okay,
And then the following month would be March,
with Myron.
with Myron. And then the following month would be April. Just keep doing challenges each month. That's what we're looking at.
Yeah, that's the
Plus the implementation workshop.
Mhm,
We're going to do that each month. We're going to try to keep doing that each month too.
mhm.
Okay.
Plus the live
And
cast
put-
each month.
Well, we're
Which
going
is
to
just
work on
a day
it.
or so, I mean, just a couple hours.
A couple of hours.
The live cast, you were saying the live cast.
Yeah, that's a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Implementation is all day.
Mhm. 3
The
days.
challenge is, I don't remember how many. That wasn't an all day. That
5
was
days.
like,
It was for a couple hours for 5 days
5.
straight.
yeah, that's it. That's right. Because you're right. Because Myron's is for a couple hours for 5 days,
Mhm.
and then he does the.
A lot of challenges are a couple hours for
Okay.
5 days.
All right, all right. I'm just trying to get a grasp of the schedule. Okay.
Because that's your zone of genius.
So okay, no.
Yes, like Myron, you see, Myron has like these 2-day events. They're not implementation workshops, but they're these events and that he has for the inner circle, and he has a challenge monthly. The challenge is actually like when we do the challenge, it's not intense or long or taxing. It was the first one. Second one got better, but like since we've done 6, it's a lot more comfortable, easier. We're more familiar with how things operate, and they're good. They're enjoyable, but the thing that the greatest bottleneck that we have is the promotion, the attendance, like bringing people to attend. But I believe the problem that we had with that was our avatar, like our audience, who we were targeting.
Right.
People don't identify as an evangelistic entrepreneur. They don't know what that means. So we had to shift that.
Right. So now we're gonna, and if we get started now, then by February, let's say the end of February, so a little over a month, will we be able to have things that are on the sloppy list, like a funnel, like a book thing, like those things, so that we can drive the traffic to the February one?
What do you guys think? We've done it before.
We have.
We've done it more than once.
What else are we currently doing that's like taking up time?
You mean the monthly missions?
Yeah.
Do you want to scroll
Yeah,
to the
look at
monthly
that.
missions?
This one.
So they have a flyer before what?
Flyer is a funnel. It's a
Yeah,
funnel
funnel.
before 2 weeks when we go to the inner circle.
Right.
There's no funnel creating type things.
There is. It's number 3. That's what it is.
I mean, besides that,
Oh,
this is one.
You mean like there's no funnels like that would
building.
compete with our attention with that?
It's number 1. Oh, okay.
No. It's not a funnel.
And the reason why is because number 2 was our funnel building. That's why we chose number 2 to be building the funnel. That is our monthly mission. Is a challenge funnel.
I think it could be done then. Once we get the work, like, situate the times where we're gonna work on it, and we get it done. If we do that consistently, we can do it until it's finished. Personally, I think it will work.
She needs to see if things will work. Carmen, you think it'll work?
Oh, we gotta do funnel hacking. Challenge funnel hacking.
That's why I think the sooner I talk to Myron, the better. We could take him 3 days to respond.
Good.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Kathy?
Yeah. I was looking at the time to see what time, how much longer we have.
Are you looking?
That does answer my question. That we could start implementing and getting it ready so we can have the first challenge in February. The end of February. The second one, the end of March, where we'll invite Myron if he's available, the end of March. Yeah. And I think it's good what Deborah suggested, having
And some sort of like bonus that if they buy the
Dangle,
February,
yeah.
then they'll be able to get a ticket to March.
dangle a carrot. Something that makes it enticing enough that they'll want to come back.
Mm-hmm. That sounds neat.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
Terminology. It's like dangle a carrot to entice folks.
What's funny about that?
It just sounds like the outside world does not know what that means.
You don't think
And
the
I just-
outside world knows what dangling carrots mean?
Well, at least I didn't know what it meant until I moved here.
Oh, that's interesting. I heard about dangling carrots in 2016. I've heard people use it. Kathy used it when she learned it, independent from what I did.
Yep, never heard of it before here. And it still sounds funny to me.
And it's all over the internet too.
Okay.
I've known him for a long time.
Yeah.
I see a picture of a stick that's on the back of a horse's neck,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes before him, and it dangles a carrot, and so
And they
he's
just
just
keep walking.
walking, trying to
Yeah, I think of that too.
catch that
Yeah,
stick.
it's a visual picture we see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see that.
Now you will.
That's where it comes from. What do you see it as?
I see just like a person just doing this, and then like another person just following it. Like, here's my challenge.
No wonder it's funny to you.
No.
No, it's originally in the context of like motivating a donkey or a horse or something to keep walking.
Yeah.
Go I see.
That's what it's referring to. You have the carrot or the stick. You can dangle the carrot to move it forward. You can get behind it like a cattle prod and you poke it with a stick, and then use pain and pleasure. That's the analogy. Okay, so that's good. Now we have these chunked into different portions. How much time did you set aside, Kathy, for the work-a-thon?
Till 2.
Oh,
And
till
we're
2.
at 149.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you guys want to turn these into phases that we could look at?
Oh, you know what another phase is?
What's that? New phase.
Well, no, it's essentially the same content as the book, right? Or no?
No.
The challenge curriculum creation would be another phase.
Which is part of the implementation workshop, the signature speech.
Alright, okay.
It's just 3 above. You can indent it there. Yeah, it is a curriculum there because it's all the sales objections. Because the implementation workshop is a create a signature speech, but like what we teach, the content we teach for the 5-day challenge is a signature speech. It's a sideways webinar, so it's just the 5 pillars in 5 days. So it's the same outline stuff. But yeah, we gotta create that stuff. Which we know we're gonna create the slides on the worksheet the night of the day before.
Is Katharina still with us?
Katharina knows if she is. That's how we've created every challenge slide.
You mean online?
Yeah, that's what I meant. She's still on.
I am here.
She
I'm,
is
I'm
listening.
listening right now.
Thank you.
I was going to say something in regards to it. I was like, it'd be really nice if we had some things created
You're right.
in advance.
It would be really nice. That's been a dream of mine since I first started speaking 10 years ago.
Like, at least a basic framework outline, whatever, and then we fill in the rest, because otherwise it tends to get too late and it just doesn't make it as enjoyable. And yeah,
You don't have to work on it late. I will.
But if we have the framework,
We have the framework outline already when we teach it. It's like the talent.
okay, well maybe
That's not really what she wants.
I'm still willing to do it. We can discuss it some other time later.
But we do need to create the content stuff with the signature. I think it could be easier when we have signature stories that we're using to overcome their beliefs, which we're identifying in the implementation workshop. So it might be better. We're more organized now from the AOI stories inventory. But yeah.
and we haven't at this time yet scheduled the implementation workshops for January, February, March.
Oh, really? Can we put that on there to schedule those?
We need to schedule those.
We
Implementation.
talked about potentially
Once a quarter?
not doing the same one each month, but there's like 3 major portions. We got to do like the offer creation, the signature speech, and then the traffic event promotion. And since we do this for like, since we've been applying it for ourselves, it's extremely powerful. And maybe instead of like doing it each time for creating the offer and the speech, we could do one that would be like Shanicia's kind of area for traffic, for it's the promotion stuff. So we do an implementation workshop going through a framework for getting traffic. Does that make sense?
Yes, what Shanicia focuses on is getting the traffic and doing an implementation workshop regarding getting traffic. I think that's what I heard you say.
That's correct. That's what I said.
Okay, then
You
that
just-
does make sense.
So was it
My
confused
brain is
look
just
was just
trying
like
to-
processing it?
Yeah, I was in the process of processing it and it's still the 3 days and it's still all day. So those things stay the same. It's just what we focus on, those implementation.
Yeah, the problem is it's a different problem we're solving in 3 days.
Okay, all right, I got it.
So we'll take what would take her 3 years to do with traffic. We'll do it in 3 days
Okay.
for getting traffic strategies and basically like all the Shannons who have large audiences that could speak on, and we can like reach out, like finding all the health food stores and those people and just getting everything in order that we would know exactly what to say to them, why they would want to do it, get clear on just like where are they at, and just figuring out what are all those places that we're able to, and create a game plan to reach out to them. And that's what we'd have done within 3 days.
In 3 days, that's great, sounds good.
And ultimately, we would want to create that for our students, the $10,000 coaching students, so they can come here and do that implementation workshop. But we'll do it on ourselves until we have students who can come out and join.
All right. So, I know you put it down. The sooner we can figure out when our implementation is for January, February, March, April, the better.
So then can we stack rank these to see which ones are the highest priority so we can know which ones to schedule? And We may be able to identify pipes in the pipeline too.
Talk to Myron and Jeff.
Let's start at the top.
Where should we go?
So everything that we have here is like basically a could-do list. Like in our account book, it's a could-do list, and then things that we have above is a will-do list. So yeah, reaching out to Jeff is probably number one. So we could.
Reaching out to Myron would be great too.
I mean, that's what I meant. Yeah, you're right. I think that would be number one. It has been number one for like 3 weeks. And the funnel, right? Because we got the funnel 2-week kind of deadline for the next Inner Circle event. Hey, who knows what the date? January 15th, right?
January 15th is when you leave. It starts on the 16th, 17th, and 18th.
Can we put January 15th on that?
You leave
like
on
in
the 15th.
parentheses or something? The next Inner Circle event, January 15th? Perfect. Thank you. So we would have to craft the irresistible offer, and if we have an implementation workshop, we can get it done through there. Can we schedule an implementation workshop before the 15th?
Yes, we can.
Maybe like a week before?
The week
So
before
is that next week?
would be next week. Next week is when we would be doing live cast. Live cast is the second Wednesday. So if we did it, we need to take that into consideration. That's the only way we can have an implementation before you leave would be next week. We do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Live cast is on for 2 hours out of that time on Wednesday.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday?
No,
Without work or not?
Did you hear his suggestion?
What did he do? I thought he said Monday, Tuesday.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Oh, I didn't hear the Sunday, see? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Starting this Sunday. The implementation, and then finishing.
Information.
None of this stuff makes sense to my brain.
I understand. I'm not. I'm
But
trying
if
to.
you're processing out loud, that's totally good. If you're asking me a question, then
No, I'm not asking a question.
oh, okay, that's good. Yeah,
But
just,
the fact that he said Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, that would be this coming Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Do the implementation. Wednesday is the live cast. Just trying to process it.
I'm not opposed.
Okay.
I would also like to know when's the soonest that we could talk about changing that. Can we put it on there too? Schedule time to discuss updating the Direction of God program. And can we put that like right after Myron?
She just rang the bell that says breakfast, lunch is ready in a half,
In 2 minutes?
in 5 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever.
Huh?
I'm wondering if we. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Sister Kathy.
I'm just thinking, this is important to do. We're going to need to come back and work on it a little bit longer as we're prioritizing it. But after lunch.
Down.
I'm willing after lunch. Mom?
Down.
Mom was gonna go, right? Oh no, you have Mom can't because she's doing something with Brian after lunch, but we can.
I have a call with Sherry.
You have a call with Sherry at what time?
4.
At 4 o'clock. Okay. Do you think that will be a half an hour, 15 minutes? How long do you think that call will be?
Maybe half an hour.
I think I'm available
40 minutes.
like anytime after lunch to work on this.
Shanisha has her from 4:30 to 5:30 is her That's her transformation. We didn't get to do it last week because.
Well, howdy, y'all.
Howdy, y'all.
So
We had a meeting.
yeah, we had a meeting. What's tomorrow, Thursday?
Following along on the screen.
Because this isn't going away. We have these notes and stuff. So what about tomorrow, Thursday? What do we have scheduled for Thursday? Because everybody's afternoon is pretty busy. because
I'm
it's
completely
important for
busy on Thursdays.
it's definitely important. Tina talking, Catherine talking to Sherry. It's
Why don't we just do it with whoever's here at 4?
prioritizing at 4:00
Yeah,
for
So
half
is
an
that
hour.
just-
for half an hour. Oh, because it would take a half an hour to finish this?
No, because Shanicia has to leave in a half an hour.
At 4:30 to 5:30.
Well,
So
shit.
Sister Kathy answers whatever involved with that.
Oh, you
Yeah,
guys are
that
going
involves-
with that too?
3 of us do the transformation.
Today is Wednesday?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
It's 2:00. I could be back here by 3:30 to 4:30. That would give us an hour.
You're
Yeah,
leaving.
me
Yeah.
too.
I do after
I could do it at 3:30.
for toolbox. I do. I leave at 5:30.
Are you available at 3:30
I'm
to
just
4?
saying I'm available from 3:30
You
to
can
4.
join at 4. That'd be great. So let's do it at 3:30. And
Okay.
Mom won't be able to come because of Brian's,
Right.
but we're
If I talk
prioritizing.
to him,
You do.
I don't know if he'll show up.
Oh, okay.
Talk to him.
So if he doesn't show up, then you can join us at 3.
Right.
So it's 3:30.
3:30.
3:30, and Karma will join us at 4. So then we got that. So we'll go for an hour.
Okay.
Sounds good?
All right.
Thanks, Kathy. Let's do it. Are you guys satisfied with what we accomplished today?
So far,
So far,
yes.
Well, that's cool. Who'd like to close us with prayer?
Should we invite Sister Sherry to pray for lunch too?
Mm-hmm. This sounds great.
Oh, I should probably stop this now.